Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics, where we are on episode 3 of the 85 Camaro Z28 IROC-Z. Okay, if you haven't watched the first two, you really need to if you want to keep up with the story and the progress. So this episode, well, last episode we got it running by just hooking up a power wire to the distributor here to here, put on new spark plugs and spark plug wires, and that's actually a new distributor from years and years ago. Forgot that I had it on there, but because the original one for an 86 wouldn't have worked for what we're doing. Okay, so got the headers on, got the radiator on, not the hoses yet. Gonna run down and get some hoses here in a little while. Well, probably tomorrow morning. Okay, so what we got to do is the cooling system, the electrical system, and the fuel system just to get it to run by itself in the car. So we'll go over a few things. I'm not going to use the electric fuel pump in the tank. I just don't like electric fuel pumps. I got the manual one right here. I might as well use it. We just got to figure out how to pump gas out of the tank up to this fuel pump. We got a line going in here to the carburetor and 2 lines coming out. I'm one from the tank and then one to a return back to the tank. Now these are this car is originally a 5.0 tune port, I think. Not sure of whether it was, see, these cars are if you go through 82 to 92, then they got the 350s came out in like 87, 88. Before that was just 305s. You get even the 82s, you could get the Crossfire. Then you could just get a regular 4-barrel like this, which this engine's out of an 86 van, carbureted. Then you can get the tune port. Then you could get the throttle body fuel injected. And then like I said, you get the 350s later on, and then the V6s, same thing, had carbureted, then the fuel injected, and then different I think they started with a 2.8 and went to a 3.1 later on. So this is all leading up to the wiring harness fiasco we got going on here, which I'll try to go over also. So and then we won't even get into the 4 cylinders and the Berlinettas. It'll all make sense when I start talking about the wiring. So this was the VIN number comes out to a 5.0 fuel injected. I think it was a tune port. I can't remember where I got the tune port from. Okay, so we're converting it to a carburetor. It does have an ECM computer type thing on it, which is not hard to bypass. You just disconnect it, hook a power wire to the distributor, and just cut all the extra wires off or whatever. Tuck them away, tape them up, tuck them away. But the problem with this car is it never came with a wiring harness. It was cut off pulled off at the firewall, all the wiring thrown away, gone, never to be seen again. This particular wiring harness is off an 89 V6 parts car I got over here, which we'll go over here in a minute. So it's not gonna, not really gonna, come on, get away. It's not really gonna work. It could possibly hook some power wires to the distributor and stuff, and power wire to the headlights, and possibly see if it could work, but we don't know, and I'll go over that in a minute when we go to the parts car. So it's fuel injected, so we got, I thought these two were two big ones, too thick. Put this over here. Two thick ones because they look the same here. But this is actually bigger and smaller. And then you got this line here coming to the evaporator, whatever you want to call this thing here, which is not off this car either. This is off an 89. So I had a helper years ago take, because nothing from the firewall forward, there was nothing here other than the master cylinder. No AC stuff, no wiper motor, none of these relay things, nothing. So this is all off an 89, which we don't need any of this stuff. But okay, so there's actually 4 lines going to the fuel pump in the tank. So there's 3, that little one I just showed you. Now somebody said the bigger one is the for the fuel coming out of the tank, and then this would be a return. I'm guessing that's what it is, but we'll figure it out here in a little while. Okay, so we're going to cut these right off because I don't think there's any way to splice into this. We're going to cut it off and put a hose. If everything turns out okay, we're going to put a hose from there to the big line on the manual pump, then that one to the smaller return, and that should work. But we got the fuel pump on the bottom of this line in the tank, and a few people said you can't just suck gas out of there because the fuel pump's in the way. So you would have to actually cut the fuel pump off and then extend this hose more so it fits at the bottom of the tank, so you don't run out of gas when it's half full. But there are 2 lines. I'm assuming this return, but I'm not sure. It does go to the bottom of the tank. We're gonna find out here in a minute from pictures. Okay, so the wiring harness, like I said, nothing's really gonna work on it. It plugs in right here. Now, see, you don't need any of this stuff here. See, here's some fuel injector things, and we don't need none of that. But on the old cars, the fuse block would be right there. Well, it's not on this one. It just plugs into a whole nother harness that goes up, and then the fuse block is, or one of the fuse blocks is up underneath the dash. We'll go over that in a while. So a few people said, oh, just get a universal harness. Now, universal harnesses are fine for old cars, or like a rat rod or something that you're just building out of nothing. It's a harness that comes with, it's just for the basics, just wiring to your engine, starter, key, headlights. I'm sure it's got a horn, signals, but and then you get the wiring going to the back taillights, and that's usually about it. Now that is going to do me absolutely no good whatsoever on this car. Okay, all behind this dash, it's like a big spaghetti of wires. Then you got wires coming up to your power windows, your power locks, your power seat, power window switches. You got all this stuff that a universal harness is not going to do you any good whatsoever, any of that stuff. So what I'm assuming, we got a cover here, I can't take this off right now, but the fuse block is right here, and it's got somewhat of a OBD type thing, old style on there. So then it's got a harness from here down to where it plugs in at the firewall. We'll see if we can see it on the blue one. Okay, and then you got all these gauges, and you got to have all that stuff working, and you get rear defroster, and your, you know, the universal harness might have a wire for stereo, but it's not going to have any wires and plugs to plug into stuff. It's not like you buy a universal harness and then you just plug it into your existing stuff. It's for rewiring a whole car that needs it. So what I'm assuming is the wiring is good from the firewall back. Okay, so what we need is the correct harness to plug in here. Now, the correct harness would be a fuel injected harness, but see, this is where I don't know. So if you have let's go over to the parts car. I think I wanted to say I want it here. Okay, let's go over to these parts cars because I want to show you some stuff. Oh, I checked the hatch. Let me put this clip in here about the fuel, and I'll be right back. Okay, it doesn't appear that this has been cut out for an opening for the fuel pump. I started lifting this up, but it's just gonna all fall apart. So anyway, yeah, he's got Dynamat on there, and then all this pretty heavy duty stuff. But I believe it should be right in here somewhere for where people cut it out. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you that before I put it all back together. We're gonna have to do something with a spare tire deal, as I mentioned before. Yeah, I can put that back so the sun doesn't warp it in a different position than it is. So yeah, I don't want to cut a hole in there. I'll probably just pull out, since I got the exhaust cut, pipe cut there. I might as well just take out all that back exhaust and take the tank out and inspect it, but that'll be later on. Okay, so you've seen that one hasn't been hacked up. Well, this is a 91. This one has been hacked up. Now, back in the day when I worked on these, 90% of them, somebody had cut out so they can access this. Now, I can't remember if these I think they disconnected here. They had a plug in them, clipped on. I think, I can't remember. Because this looks like somebody just cut the steel wires and put on spacers. Okay, and then here's for your electric fuel plug, which plugs in right here. Another thing a universal harness wouldn't come with. That slides down in there, plugs in there, and then that goes up to your 3 wires, is it? 3 wires goes up to wherever. So what we're gonna do, I need clamps anyway. These clamps are getting expensive. I'm gonna take all these clamps off. Then I'm just gonna get a hammer and a screwdriver, pop this around and pull it out, and show you guys what's underneath there. See, there's 4. They all look about the same size. But from the picture, don't know which one it is. We'll go down and have a electric fuel pump on it. And then another one goes all the way down to the bottom and it's just open. Then these two of them are just like vents at the top of this. We're gonna pull that out here in a minute, and I'll show you. And I want to look at it anyway. Seen it on a picture, but okay. Plus, we want to see inside this tank, see if there's any See, to take this tank out is a pain in the ass. You got to take some suspension off, you got to take the exhaust off, and it's just the pain in the ass to get the gas neck thing and everything out. So for a car like the 85 that doesn't have this cut open, and I don't want to butcher it up and do this, we don't know what the tank looks like unless we take it out. So when I do take it out and it's bad, hopefully this one's good and we can stick this tank in that one in the 85. See what I mean? So that's one project we'll have to do. For now, we're just going to run the gas line from a gas jug to that fuel pump, manual fuel pump in there, and get it running on its own. I want to make sure it idles and all that stuff and revs up and all that. Okay, so here's the fuse. Well, here's the plug where the harness plugs in, right? This is the car we took. My helper took everything off, so you had to take off all this AC stuff, wiper motor, just everything except the master cylinder. Okay, so here's what I'm worried about. You could get two different harnesses. Get one fuel injected or a regular carburetor. Fuel injected obviously is going to have a lot more wires for the fuel injectors to click onto, fuel pump, you know, stuff like that. So let's say this is fuel injected, which my 85 is, but you want to put on an 85 carbureted harness. Now, are all these things here going to be the same? Let's say that's, you know, lights, wiper, horn, and then, you know, then it'll get into the fuel injected stuff. Now, what I'm hoping is they are all the same, and it's not going to matter if you put a fuel injected harness on here or a carbureted one on here, because there'll be no plugs for this. It'll plug in, but there'll be no connections. See what I mean? But if it is fuel injected, are they going to put these at a different spot? You're going to have the horn down here and the lights down here or over here instead of here. That's my biggest problem, guys. So what I actually need is an 85 fuel injected harness, and then I can start snipping off all the fuel injected wires, computer wires, all that stuff. But I know everything else is going to work. But can't find one. You can't just, you know, like I said, there's so many different combinations of these cars. You're going to need the exact year and everything. Trying to find one for the exact year and exact engine combination is going to be very, very difficult to find. And then that's on top of, is a harness any good, and who's going to take it off? And now somebody mentioned some website or whatever. I went to it. Yeah, they'll sell a used harness for just about anything, any Camaro, $500. Well, 500's too much. It's absolutely it's about what I paid for the whole car. I'm not going to pay for that for a harness that I'm going to cut up. So on eBay, a guy did have an 85 harness, fuel injected, but it was so butchered up that $100. Well, actually 100 plus 35 to ship, 135. But see, it's got this harness that comes in here and plugs in under the dash. And he's not going to have that, and I need that. But you know, like the wires and stuff going down to the starter, it was just snipped off. And he mentioned it. He said this is just for parts only. It's been all butchered up. A lot of it was all hacked in wiring. So I thought about it, but I said, nah, that's no good. So another guy has an 86 Z28 5.0 carbureted harness, 200 bucks. So he's had it in storage in his closet for 20 years. So it's in perfect shape. 200 bucks. So I bought that one. So this is why I'm worried about this now, that the connections are in the right spots. See? I haven't got it yet. It'll be here in a couple days. He messaged me the other day, said it was shipped. Okay, see, here's the fuse. All the fuses are out. That sticks up like that. And then the deal, you can see it up here. See, that's where it plugs into. Then it's got some wires. See, look at all these spaghetti of wires. It's not going to come with a universal harness. Okay. See, I didn't watch my helper take all this off. I know he had all this stuff off, and man, I don't. So anyway, that's where we are, guys, with the harness situation and the fuel situation. Cooling system's not too bad. I couldn't figure out where. Let's go back to it here for just a second. Oh, we got to take off that V6 fuel injected stuff. The throttle cable and all that's not going to work. So we're going to take this whole thing off the truck. Hopefully that throttle cable will hook to the gas pedal on the Camaro. And it's a little bit rigged here as a nut and a bolt. But the transmission's in there. So this is what we need for that car, for the 85. So we got to take that off this car. It's just real handy having a parts vehicle around. But okay, so I'm gonna go get, hopefully they got radiator hoses at O'Reilly's or AutoZone. I disconnected just cut the 2 heater hoses there. And then I got to looking at the engine. I said, okay, well, there's a heater hose there. Where's the other one? It should be like here. But I was just looking at the 81 Silverado. Yeah, one hose goes here, and the other hose goes up here to the radiator. So it doesn't go to the engine. So I guess that's what we'll have to do. We'll hook one heater hose here and one here. Now we just need the, I got another thermostat housing. See this stuff, this is out of a van motor, so none of this, what a Camaro one looks like, whether it goes straight, I don't know, but it's not going to matter too much. But I got another housing. I'm going to put the other housing on there. But when I took this hose off here, there was some of the hose still left, a bunch of rust on there. So we need to blow out this, use a pressure washer and get it. I'll take this thermostat housing off and just pressure wash all inside that, get all the rust out of the block, and then put on the hoses. I don't want all that rust going in my brand new radiator. Which comes to another point. I know it's a lot of rambling, guys, but I'm just going over everything. This is the V6 top radiator shroud, but the holes don't line up and it's too short because it's a V6. They make them aftermarket for a V8. Can't find any used ones. No, was there a used one? No, that was for this piece here. I should have showed you that. There's a plastic piece that covers this. I got one, but it's all cracked up. But anyway, they want 59 bucks for that. They make these aftermarket, $109. $109 for a V8. Somebody makes a custom one like I bought for the El Camino. It's aluminum that bolts into these holes and covers. It's like this, but it doesn't have the things for the fan and this stuff that you don't need. 150 bucks. So the 150 and 110 is too much. So we're gonna figure out something. I may just cut this in half or something, or see if I can find one off another car. Anyway, I just got it zip tied here for now. Can't do that because it's rubbing against here. Can't leave it permanently like that. We need it away from here. Put some rubber in here. Anyway, that's another little deal. The other deal is the power steering. This was with the car, but it's just hanging. There was no bolts or nothing on it, so I have to figure out some brackets and stuff. I know the AC compressor would probably go here, even though I seen a video on a 86 Z28 and the friggin' compressor's over here. I'm thinking it was supposed to have been here, and the V6 would be over here. So now we're into a bunch of other problems coming up for the AC. Where are you going to get AC lines that comes all the way over here if it never came that way factory? So anyway, we'll worry about the AC later. So we need some brackets and bolts and spacers and everything to get this to work. Not urgent right now. I just kind of got a bolt stuck in there to hold it up there, but that's going to be another problem. The Camaros did have this. A lot of Monte Carlos and stuff had the one serpentine looking belt here, and then regular belts for the AC and the power steering. Not sure what that one would be for, but okay. But like I said, this engine's on an 86 van. Okay, well, let me get rolling with something. Got the gas tank here. Got a couple of feet of different fuel lines, new fuel lines. We're going to run the fuel from there, pump to in this tank, and we're going to make sure this fuel pump actually works. And if it shoots out of here for the return, that's what we want to know. Then we're going to after that, we're going to put a couple of gallons in the tank of this, and then hook up. I got a little electronic external fuel pump, and we'll hook them to each wire and see if we can suck gas out of that tank. Some people said you can't suck it out of there because the fuel pump's in the way. But yeah, let me in the meantime, I'm going to go over and take that fuel pump connections off and show you, and we'll take a look inside that tank. Okay, well, I'll be back when I get something done. Okay guys, I got it out. Yeah, I think they just cut them lines. Anyway, goes in there like that. This is your fuel gauge. It seems to be okay. I mean, it's not frozen up. Okay, so there's the electrical. Something was disconnected there. Unless it doesn't go to anything. But anyway, this is your electric fuel pump here. Okay, okay, that's more like a vent, and that one's a vent. So what is that one? That is these two here. These two here. Okay, so that's a big one and a little one, then a big one, little one. Big one would go to the big one go to this fuel pump here. Now this is the other line I was telling you. See, this just goes right to the bottom of the tank, right? So why couldn't I use that line there to pull the fuel out, and then use one of these to return it and come back in? Okay, let's see if we can look in here. And there's a lot of flaky stuff on there. Anyway, we don't know. So, but people were saying we'll take the fuel pump off here and then extend this line. See, extend this line down to here with a rubber hose or something. But yeah, but why couldn't I use this one? Maybe because it's a smaller line. It'd be these two here, be a little bit smaller. But for now, we can try to put a couple of gallons in the 85 and suck it out through this line. It'd be right here. But anyway, just thought I'd show you. None of y'all have, and to take it out, you gotta kind of go like that. Like that. I'm gonna leave that like that now. Gather up all these. Got 8 free clamps. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, the dash overlay cover just came in. I guess this is silicone for it. But yeah, that's that was the $50-something dollars. We'll just have to find I got 3 or 4 dash pads. Try to find the flattest one. If not, we'll have to cut it and make it flat and glue that on there. Anyway, just came in the mail. Just thought I'd show you that. I'll be back. Okay guys, it's been a few days. Did the last video on the red El Camino, putting on new headers, exhaust. If you haven't watched that, forgot I had to do that before this video, so now we're back to this. Okay, now I got some stuff here. This I took off a 94 Firebird. This is the shifter cable. Goes on the transmission. And what's wrong with the one on the car is these couple of these clips here are broke, so it doesn't stay in when it's shifting. When you shift it, it pops out. So I'm going to eventually put that on there. Not quite yet, but I got the new radiator hoses here, and power steering belt, and a couple of brackets that I'll probably have to modify to put that power steering on. Power steering goes here, then the AC goes here. This is off that truck. See, it's supposed to go on the exhaust manifold right there, but I don't think it's going to fit with the header. And the power steering would go down there. Okay, so we're going to try to modify this, make it work. Not too concerned about the AC yet. I did see another picture of a Camaro and they had the AC on this side. So I don't know, I seen one picture of the AC's on this side, another one this side. So, but I think that was from they did an engine swap on the Camaro. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be factory. And they may have had modified hoses, which we may have to do. Because, anyway, I found these on the truck. I don't know if I can modify these to make it work. But right now I'm going to, I said there was some rust in here, and then we're going to blow that out with a water hose and take the thermostat out, blow all the much as I can out of there. Got this thermostat here. This one here is off a van, so we're going to stick that one on there and run the hose from there to there. We got some gasket sealer and stuff. And then this is another little bracket come off that truck that goes, not sure exactly what it does, it just mounts to the bottom of the block. What else? I bought 2 new hatch struts, 30 bucks off eBay. This is that used harness for an 86 Camaro. It's a lot of friggin' wires, and it comes with a computer and everything too. I don't think I'm going to mess with this until maybe next video. This video we're going to concentrate on the cooling system and the fuel system. So we're going to blow all the rust out of there, put on the hoses, we'll get it running, fill it with coolant, also got some antifreeze, get it running so it won't overheat or nothing. And I actually want to get up under there because right now I got a vice grips on the transmission linkage, so I want to make sure the transmission fluid's full and then shift it, make sure it goes into reverse and drive. Hopefully it does. I guess I don't have a clue about this transmission that's in it. So we can let it run without overheating and all that, and I want to make sure the carburetor works okay. It did in the van 9 years ago. We'll see if it still does. Then once that's okay, well, we're going to run the 2 fuel lines to this gas jug here. That's how we're going to have it running. Then once all that's set, then we'll work on the fuel system. And probably take an air hose, put a couple of gallons of gas in the gas tank, take an air hose here and see if we can blow through if there's any crap in these 2 lines to the tank. And then we're going to hook a fuel pump to it and see if we can suck out some gas, see if it comes out. Anyway, let me get started with all that and I'll be back. Just checking the thermostat, see if it opens. Got a little propane there, and you can see it open at the bottom. So I'm going to reuse it. No use buying a thermostat. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys. This hose wouldn't fit at all. I had to cut it up, and it had a big curve right here, so that's as short as I could cut it. It's barely on there and there, but anyway, bottom hose fit perfect. Got the heater hoses on. One goes to the engine, one goes to the radiator. Blew out the water hose, and no rust came out, just some antifreeze. Blew out the heater core, same thing, just antifreeze came out, so that's good. Better than water being in there for 9 years. Okay, I just hooked up 2 fuel lines to the fuel tank right here, but the fuel pump is just gushing out gas along the side. I'll show you. So to start it, I just got it hooked to this. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it took a while to pump the gas up there. I finally had to disconnect the line here and pour gas down to get the fuel pump started. So anyway, it starts and runs, but big gas shooting out down there. 2 spots actually, there and there. Water pump's working. So, oh, there it goes there, see? So, wasn't doing that in the van, so I guess that's just from sitting. Must be some little weep holes or whatever in there. I don't know if I should buy a new one or take the one off that truck, but that thing's probably been on there 30-40 years. Well, this one, it's original too. It says AC on it. Well, I don't know if it's, no, I doubt it's original. It's got gasket fluid there. I'll figure it out. I might try the one off the truck, but I just hate to go through all that work, and it's a dud too. I'll check at AutoZone, see if they got see what the price is on theirs. But yeah, I heard some, it was Pole Barn Garage I was watching. They got like 2 or 3 bad ones in a row. I forget from who. Okay, so we want to hook up a electric fuel pump to these two and see if we can suck gas out of the tank. So let me figure that out. I don't want to take a grinder to it and create a spark or blow up the tank, so I'm gonna have to do it with a hacksaw or something. Yeah, this bracket here, it goes down, bolt on the block down there, and then there's supposed to be a bolt here. So that holds the back of the water pump there. And then I got a bolt there and one there. So I think that's good there. But I haven't tried it yet, but I think that belt I got is too short. So anyway, let's I got a little external fuel pump. I think I got it in here. Yeah. Got a little electric fuel pump here. We'll hook up to that line and see if it'll, we'll put a couple gallons in the gas tank and see if it'll suck it out. So anyway, let me do that. I'll be back. Okay guys, out here burning a little midnight oil because had to run out get some parts, and then we ducked a big storm. Parts of this area got pretty 60-mile-an-hour winds and hail and all that. We got nothing here, just a little drizzle. So it's over. So as I figured, the power steering belt was wrong, so I went and got another one. They got about six or seven belts listed for this power steering. I don't know which one. I should have measured it, but I went up there to get a fuel pump. Okay, so this fuel pump here, it's got two little weep holes here, and that's where it was shooting out of. Okay, took the one off the 84 pickup. It has one weep hole and it was blowing out there. Never had any problems really with old fuel pumps not working, but got two in a row here. So this is out of the 86 Chevy van, and it's got two lines. This comes from the tank, and then this is, even though I had it running, nothing was coming out of here, so I don't know if it's a vent or what. So I look it up online on AutoZone, and you could get two different styles. You can get one with the two or just the one. So I just got the one with the one. I started looking at my other cars. My 82 El Camino has one line. Chevelle has one line. So that's what I got. So this is it here. It's got a weep hole there. So it's just got the one line. So that's all we're gonna hook up. Okay, 21 bucks. 25 bucks for the one with the extra line. So I wanted to come out here tonight and at least get this stuff done. Got another belt and get these two on there, because I was figuring out the bracket and everything for this power steering, and I think it'll work. Keep it from shaking. Okay, so I wanted to get those two things done tonight at least, because I've been screwing around with them for a couple hours before the storm. So let me get that all together, and I'll be back. Well, she's running, guys, but it's idling too high. I can't figure out why. Put the choke all the way down and screw all the way out, and it still idles too high. was starting to overheat, so I had to hook the fans up. Hook the fans to the battery here. But I'm gonna tighten the power steering belt up a little bit. That's one that I found laying around. Trying to set the timing so it doesn't diesel. See? It runs on, but I think that's because the idle's too high. I've just been messing with the timing a little bit. And you can hear a little click in here every once in a while. I don't know what it is. I can't find any vacuum leaks. You see, it's got an electronic thing here for the choke. But I don't know, we may have to buy one of them $150 carburetors. While it was running, damn radio's on. I want to get copyrighted. While it was running, I put it in gear, reverse, and drive, and the wheels turn. So the transmission's going into the gears. I think I'm gonna blow some air through them fuel lines, put a couple gallons of gas in here, see if I can hear it coming through. I'm gonna blow it out this way and see if there's if it'll come out. Well, I'll get it. Well, I'm gonna do that. See if the lines are free, and then if they are, we're gonna hook a fuel pump to the line and see if we can suck some gas out. And of course, I'll put a filter on before the pump so it doesn't clog anything up. So I'll be back. Okay, guys, I put about 2-3 gallons in the tank. I blew air through both fuel lines. I cut the ends off here, so one is smaller than the other. I think that must be 5/16, and that was the 3/8. So this is the big one here where the fuel pump's supposed to be on the end of it. I was blowing air in there, and then when I pulled the air blower out, gas shot out. So there was gas in there. So anyway, we got that little fuel pump going on the tank. We're gonna see if it pulls gas through there. If not, we'll try this one here. Yeah, I didn't mention I got the new fuel pump on there. I screwed up that steel line going up to here, so I had to splice it in with a piece of hose. And that fuel line down there is to the tank right there I've been using. But we want to hook that fuel line up to one of these. I don't really like crossing that fuel line across the engine, but we're going to have to get it under there somehow and make sure it doesn't be in a vulnerable spot to get pinched or broke open. Okay, I'm gonna let that go for a while, and as I said, the fuel pump's in the way, so I doubt it's gonna suck anything. Well, I'll let that run for about 5 minutes, and then we'll try the other line. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, nothing came out of the big hose, but here's a little hose. And yeah, that's about all the fuel that little pump pumps. Used it before. So I think that'd be enough, even though that's a smaller line. But you know, this doesn't have no big Holley double pumper on it. It doesn't need a ton of gas. So I'm thinking I can just draw my fuel line from the fuel pump into this. But yeah, I hate to run a rubber hose all the way under there, but I just don't want it to hit anything. Anyway, let her take that off. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do. Well, I should pump. I'm gonna let it cool down for a minute, and I'm gonna pump all that old gas out of there, and then put in 3 or 4 gallons of good stuff. But yeah, really, I should take the gas tank out, put a new one in, or clean one with a parts car or something, and do all that. But man, that's a lot of work. We're just trying to get it up and running. So that'll be a future project if someone was to fully restore this or whatever. But I think that'll get it enough gas to run. So now, as far as these, I just took the little end off that one there. I don't know if I should run that up there or just cap it off and cap this one off, but see, there's one other line in there. You know, there's 4 lines, so the other one, I don't know where it is. I could probably get underneath there and trace it, but I'm thinking that's a vent too. But yeah, it's gonna have to be vented somehow, or else it'll build up pressure and blow out somewhere, unless I get a vented gas cap or something. But anyway, let me figure out that, and I'll be back. Okay guys, new day. Okay, put in about 4 gallons of new gas, put in a couple gallons, pumped it out into this jug. Of course, it's dirty, stinky. Then when it ran out, I put another couple of gallons in and then pumped it out. Same thing. But of course, there's probably a gallon or so of gas in there that this is not picking up. That's just sitting there, that's mixed in with the new gas, and it's just old and stinky. And I don't know how much gas it's going to take to get it out, or make this thing run half decent. So I don't know. I just can't keep pumping tankfuls of gas, so I stopped at 4 gallons. I'm going to put in another 4 or 5 gallons of new gas in there, and then that's it. It can mix in with the gallon of whatever's still left in there, and hopefully that'll be good enough to burn for a while. It'll take tanks of gas to get all that stuff out of there. But like I said, I'm not gonna pull the tank. It's a big job. It's just, I don't want to do it. So okay, so I figure out how I'm gonna do this gas line. You need a gas line. I put a bolt in this one here. Nothing's coming out of there. That's where the pump's on. So this one, see, it's smaller tube. I'm pretty sure that's the same size as a transmission line. So I have an old transmission line here, and I'm going to bend. I got a bender, a little handheld bender, and I'm gonna run this from here all the way down. I believe this bar here is just a straight brace bar. I'm gonna probably run it along here, and then use a rubber line from there to here. But I want to put a filter in there, run it from here. They either put the filter in here, which I probably won't. Well, maybe. Or put the filter up here, right in here, which I don't really want to either, because it could blow out on the exhaust. But anyway, it'll be mostly metal, and I'll zip tie it down across that brace. So that's the plan right now. I took the throttle cable bracket off the truck. This is where your transmission line comes in, which is over there somewhere, and I'll bring that around. I had to, you know, it bolts to the manifold there, and transmission line will go here, and then the throttle will come up to here. Okay, so I can take out what my helper put on this throttle cable for a V6 fuel injected, and also these are for this cruise control unit. I'm going to take that out. That's not going to work on here. What was on the truck, let's see where I put it right here, this bracket here. So I don't know what's on a Camaro, whether it's going to be the one over here or one down there, but anyway, I took this off. It's two little bolts there that go into this right here, and it sticks, and then this bolts in the back of the engine block, so that goes up in there like that, but I just left it out. Okay, so I'm going to take the rest of this out. I'm going to take the throttle cable off the truck and replace this one with it, hook it to the gas pedal, and then it runs from here. So I'm going to do that, rig up 2 mounts I showed you for the radiator. What else here? I got a little list here of I got to get a return spring for that carburetor, filter, and put on the spark plug boots. I got a new set. I think I probably showed you. These spark plug boots here. Try to keep the spark plug wires from burning off. So I'm going to do all that right now, and we'll go from there. Back. Good to go. Man, it runs good. Turn out the radio. Okay, guys. So you can see it runs good. I think yesterday when it was running a little rough, it's because it was hot. So I didn't have the fans running until the end. But anyway, it's sucking out gas, as you can see, from the fuel tank. And I got a steel line running down there, a little bit of hose here and here, the filter. And then got it underneath the idle arm, and from there to there. Okay, so got that. I put these spark plug boots on, but you had to cut the ends off because it's got a steel ring, and it'd be great for the straight plug wires, but the ones like that, yeah, you can't get it through. But I got some aluminum tape coming, and I'm gonna put some aluminum tape around there. Let's put some regular duct tape on it for now, because it's okay. So anyway, that's done. I got the hatch struts on there. Put them on there. Whoa, she's stiff. Okay, what else did I do? Oh, I had to cut these to make them bend a little bit, but anyway, that radiator's on there solid with rubber mounts, and it's not touching, so that's done. What else? Oh, I got the throttle cable on there, so and a return spring I found. I was looking and looking, I couldn't find any, and then I had remember the couple old Dodges back there. So yeah, the return springs on there. So this looks like it all belongs now. I started taking apart the wiring. These things were up there like that. Started disconnecting that. Like I said, my helper years ago put this on. Here's this is a separate little harness for the fuel injectors for a V6, see? 246, and then I think it's got a cold start injector. That actually just unplugs. Okay, and then I marked a couple here because, see, all this stuff's off an 89, like the wiper, and the harness that I got's an 86, so I don't know if these plugs are gonna be the same, but anyway, that's gonna be for next episode. We're going to, and then these wires here go with the cruise control. I just kind of marked them, but they're all coming out. So I think next episode, I'll disconnect this whole harness. There's not a lot hooked up to it. Some of these wires here and stuff. We're going to take that out and put in the 86 harness here. Pull it out, see what all came with it. Okay, I think I showed you that. And then, oh, the only thing I haven't done was the shifter linkage cable. Mainly because I got to take all this out. So I already took this bottom out to get the throttle cable in there. Said here's the fuse block. They had a few wires rigged. This wire here, I don't know what it was, but it was tied together and stuck in one of these fuses. And then I think these might be speakers here. Not sure on these, probably interior lights or something. Or that might be the original radio lights, because there is an aftermarket radio in there. We'll have to figure all that out. But yeah, there's an ECM right here. Is there ECM or another fuse block or something right there? Anyway, we're gonna have to take all this apart. We got to take it apart here because this is, I don't think there's anything in there. I don't know. When you take all that apart, we got to change the dash pad. I showed you the new one, so we'll take that apart, this apart, console apart, whatever in here. Check all the fuses, make sure they're good. We're gonna hook, well, hopefully when we get it all hooked up, this regular switches will work these motors, but we're gonna test them. If not, I can just cut off a little thing and put a, well, you put a negative on this, and then one positive goes up, one goes down. So we're gonna test both door motors, pretty much everything electrical, guys. Next, oh, that's fog lights there, I believe. And they're not hooked up. Okay, so everything electrical, say a prayer for me that an 86 carbureted harness will work with the factory fuel injected connector right there. And yeah, we're just gonna we'll hook up all the starter wires. Hopefully they're in good shape. We'll get it all so it starts with a key, because right now we just use this wiring to start it. See, so we need these are all wires from the starter from that truck, so we gotta patch them into the other harness, or use that harness if they're good connections and connect it on the starter. All that stuff, get everything to work with that harness, hopefully. So anyway, we got a lot done. Transmission does work. That's a big plus. So I doubt right now we can put the wheel on here. Well, I got to fix the flat on that. That one there needs a plug. Well, I'm going to take it off and put a patch from the inside. Meant to show you the brakes look new on it. Rotors look pretty good. No grooves. Pads look good. So I have no doubt we could pop this wheel on there and drive it around, but no rush on that. What we'll do is get all this wiring done, and then what else, probably hook a couple of switches to the fan going to the inside so we can turn on them fans, or, well, I doubt it, but Probably get a factory fan. I could for that, but now I got no shroud. So anyway, that'll be for another day. But we got a lot done. We got all, you seen what I all did here. Got this power steering. Now this needs to be tightened up just a little bit. Hopefully it's got enough to, if not, I'm gonna measure that and get the right belt or a new belt for it. Somebody said these were like 30 something bucks, these friggin' things, the little serpentine. But anyway, the fuel system does work. You seen it, there's plenty of fuel coming out there. Like I said, it's the smaller line, but it's not no Holly double pumper thing on there that's needing, you know, a ton of gas. So it should work, and it just saves a whole lot of time, as I mentioned before. So anyway, guys, I think we'll leave it at that. Got a lot done. And oh yeah, people, well, put a 350 in it. Yeah, well, where? You got one? That's what I had years ago. 350s, you just can't go get them. They're not a dime a dozen anymore. Junkyards don't have any, you know, so it's hard to find a good running used engine. So stuck with a 305, just like the 78 El Camino. Would have been nice with a 350 in that. Got a 350 in this El Camino, a 350 in the other El Camino, but anyway, 305, that's all we got. So yeah, we want to test out the driving, and I did tighten this up. This was a little bit loose. Well, the clips was off. It's, well, I guess it is at minimum, but yeah, we have to try to clean that fluid out and put some more fluid in there, and check the brakes. So yeah, we'll do that next video, and hopefully we can start it with the key and rip it around the property here, and we'll go from there. I mean, after that, it's pretty much just interior and body work and paint, if I go that far right now. It seems to run real good. Hopefully it'll stay running good, but we'll see. We may have to get right now. That was a cold start and it was running, so we'll just see if it stays, and it worked perfectly. So if it stays like that while it's hot and everything, then great. If not, we may have to get another carburetor, but it may be, I don't know, maybe something else, maybe something in the ignition distributor or something. Although I had no problems with those distributors, but you never know. Okay, I'm starting to ramble, guys. Anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. Bottom right hand corner of the screen. It's free. Just click it. Doesn't cost anything. And thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next video.